Welcome to the Quiet Discipline Method, where we uncover the silent psychological truths that control your daily actions and inaction. You assume that you are procrastinating because you are lazy, or perhaps you believe that you simply lack basic willpower. The truth is much deeper than surface-level laziness. Your brain is actively avoiding a specific emotional threat that it perceives. Most people navigate through life believing that procrastination is strictly a motivation problem that needs a loud and energetic fix. They constantly search for external motivation, complex morning routines, or rigid discipline structures to force themselves into doing the work. But if motivation was truly the issue, why can you effortlessly spend hours doing meaningless tasks without any mental resistance? You have the energy to focus, but you cannot seem to direct that energy toward the things that actually matter. Procrastination is not a defect in your character. It is actually a sophisticated defense mechanism designed to protect your feelings. Your brain is not trying to avoid the work itself. It is trying to avoid the negative feelings the work brings. These feelings include the fear of failure, the anxiety of being judged, or the deep insecurity of not being enough. Sometimes it is simply the fear of facing yourself and realizing your current skills do not match your high expectations. Every time you prepare to start a significant task, your brain quietly asks a very dangerous question: will this hurt me? If the answer from your subconscious is yes, your brain will immediately find a way to delay that potential pain. It does not scream at you to stop. Instead, it offers you a soft, comforting distraction to ease the tension. You might suddenly feel the urge to clean your room, check your emails, or organize your desk perfectly before starting. Or perhaps you convince yourself that watching just one more educational video will finally make you ready to do the work. You are not procrastinating because you don't care about the outcome. You procrastinate because you care far too much. If you genuinely did not care about the project, you would have finished it quickly without worrying about the quality. Procrastination is often a sign of high standards, hidden fears, and an ego that is not ready to be wounded. Motivation feels good, but it does not make you feel safe, and your brain always prioritizes safety over your success. This is why you can have plenty of motivation and know exactly what to do, yet still remain completely paralyzed. To stop procrastination, you do not need more hype. You need to identify the specific emotion you are currently avoiding. You must ask yourself one single question: what feeling am I trying to avoid by not doing this task right now? Do not try to fix the feeling or hide from it. Just look straight at it and acknowledge its presence. The moment you clearly see the fear for what it is, it loses its power over your actions and decisions. Quiet discipline is not about forcing yourself to work. It is about staying put when your brain wants to run. It involves no noise, no drama, and no internal conflict. It is simply the act of not walking away. That is the silent reason you procrastinate, and understanding this mechanism is the first step toward true and lasting control. Let us dig deeper into the biological roots of why your brain perceives a simple email as a life-threatening danger. Thousands of years ago, fear was a useful tool that kept your ancestors alive when facing physical predators in nature. Today, your brain uses that same biological hardware to react to deadlines, social expectations, and complex, abstract modern problems. When you face a difficult task, your limbic system takes over, prioritizing immediate mood repair over long-term goal achievement. This is why you seek immediate dopamine hits. Your brain wants to feel better right now, not tomorrow or next week. We call this phenomenon present bias. where the immediate relief of not working outweighs the future rewards of finishing. You logically know that delaying will cause more pain later, but your emotional brain does not understand the concept of time. It only cares about the present moment, screaming for safety and comfort, while your logical brain watches in helpless silence. This internal conflict creates a wall of resistance that feels physical, making simple tasks feel like climbing a mountain. The longer you stare at the list without acting, the bigger and more terrifying monsters in your mind become. This leads to the cycle of guilt, where you feel bad for not working, which drains your energy even further. With drained energy, you are even less likely to start, creating a downward spiral that is hard to escape. Breaking this cycle requires us to stop fighting our biology and start working with it through gentle awareness. We must learn to soothe the amygdala, assuring our primitive brain that writing a report is not a death sentence. This is where the quiet discipline method differs from standard advice. It focuses on emotional regulation, not time management. You cannot manage your time if you cannot first manage the turbulent emotions that dictate how you use it. Let us examine the specific masks that procrastination wears, specifically the deceptive mask of perfectionism. Perfectionism is not about striving for excellence, it is a paralyzing fear of making a mistake and being judged. You delay starting because you are terrified that the result will not match the flawless vision in your head. So you choose to produce nothing rather than produce something imperfect, protecting your ego from the reality of your spills. Quiet discipline teaches us that an imperfect something is infinitely better than a perfect nothing. You must give yourself permission to create junk, to make mistakes, and to be a beginner once again. Remember that failure is not the opposite of success. It is a necessary part of the path to success. Another common mask is productive procrastination, where you do useful things to avoid the one important thing. You clean the house, answer minor emails, or organize your files perfectly, feeling busy but accomplishing nothing of value. This is motion, not action. It gives you the illusion of progress while keeping you safe from the risk of failure. True action requires you to step into the arena and face the possibility of rejection or failure head-on. We also face the distraction economy, a world designed to exploit your brain's weakness for easy rewards. Social media platforms hire the world's smartest engineers to keep you scrolling and prevent you from doing your work. They sell you cheap dopamine that numbs your anxiety but leaves you feeling empty and unfulfilled afterwards. Breaking free requires a conscious decision to embrace boredom, which is the fertile soil for all creativity. When you remove the noise, you are forced to confront your thoughts, and that is where the real work begins. So how do we apply the quiet discipline method to overcome these powerful internal and external forces? First, you must cultivate the habit of pausing the moment you feel the urge to run away. Instead of opening a new tab, sit with the discomfort for just 30 seconds and observe it curiously. Name the feeling. Say to yourself, I am feeling anxious because I am afraid this will not be good. Naming the monster reduces its size, turning a vague, overwhelming threat into a manageable, specific problem. Second, lower the bar so low that it becomes impossible for your brain to say no to it. Do not aim to write a book, aim to write one terrible sentence. Do not aim to exercise, aim to put on shoes. Action creates momentum. Once you start moving, the friction disappears, and it becomes easier to keep going. Third, forgive yourself for the past procrastination immediately, as guilt only fuels the cycle of avoidance. Research shows that students who forgave themselves for procrastinating on the first exam studied better for the second one. Treat yourself with the same kindness and patience you would offer to a friend who is struggling. Finally, create a quiet space where your brain knows that only work happens, nothing else. It can be a specific chair, a specific playlist, or a specific time of day dedicated to deep focus. Over time, this environment triggers a Pavlovian response, shifting your brain into work mode automatically. Quiet discipline is about building these small, silent rituals that bypass the need for brute force willpower. It is not about being a warrior, it is about being like water, consistent and yielding, yet unstoppable. When you stop fighting yourself, you enter a state of flow where the work becomes its own reward. You realize that the pain of discipline is far less than the pain of regret and stagnation. The discomfort of starting lasts only a few minutes, but the satisfaction of finishing lasts for a lifetime. Imagine the person you could be if you stopped avoiding the difficult things and started embracing them. That version of you is waiting on the other side of the fear that is currently holding you back. You do not need to be perfect, you just need to be present and willing to endure the silence. Growth happens in the quiet moments when nobody is watching and you choose to do the work anyway. This is the essence of the quiet discipline method: consistency over intensity and compassion over criticism. As we approach the end of this journey, remember that you have the power to change your brain. Neuroplasticity means your habits are not set in stone. You can rewire your responses to fear and stress. Start today by picking one small task you have been avoiding and apply the 30-second pause technique. Feel the resistance, acknowledge it, and then proceed gently, proving to your brain that you are safe. The relief you will feel is not just from finishing the task, but from reclaiming your own agency. True leisure can only be enjoyed when you are not carrying the heavy burden of unfinished business. Procrastination steals your free time by filling it with low-level anxiety and constant background guilt. Reclaiming your discipline means reclaiming your rest, your play, and your ability to be fully present. It allows you to be there for your loved ones without being mentally absent, worrying about your to-do list. In a world addicted to speed and noise, choose the quiet path of steady, deliberate action. Be the architect of your life, not a victim of your temporary emotions and fleeting impulses. You have everything you need right now to start. You do not need to wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow is a fantasy where you are perfect. Today is the reality where you can make progress. Embrace the imperfection of today, and you will find that it leads to the future you desire. The pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. Choose your burden wisely. Quiet discipline is the tool that lightens the load, making the journey bearable and even enjoyable. It invites you to fall in love with the process, not just the outcome of your efforts. When you love the process, procrastination fades away because you no longer need to escape from your life. Your life is happening right now, in this moment. Do not let fear steal another second of it. Take a deep breath, forgive yourself for the time lost, and gently turn your attention to the task. You are capable, you are safe, and you are ready to handle whatever challenges come your way. Let the quiet discipline method be your guide out of the noise and into a life of purpose. Walk this path with patience, and you will find that the silence is not empty, but full of answers. Thank you for giving your attention to this video and for investing in your own mental growth. If you found value in this perspective, consider subscribing to join our community of quiet achievers. Share this with someone who is struggling silently and help them understand the true nature of their battle. We read every comment and appreciate your insights on how you navigate your own internal resistance. Remember, Discipline is not about punishing yourself. It is about loving yourself enough to build a better future. Stop running, stop fighting, and simply begin. The quiet reason you procrastinate is now known to you. This is the quiet discipline method. Stay focused, stay quiet, and do not walk away. Goodbye.